Alright, let's talk about talents for Fury Warrior. I like fresh meat. Pretty much increases the chance for Enrage to trigger, which gives you haste and also gives you increased healing. So I use that. I use double charge for the reduced charges, or reduced cooldown on charges, especially for BGs. Sudden death for the execute, this for the healing from charging, this from the increased damage and reduced rage cost, this for the blade storm damage, this for the increased damage to people. Thirst for battle to clear snares and roots and all that. That just for the increased damage and enduring rage to extend the duration of your enrage. And now we show the damage of Fury Warrior. So we'll use Recklessness here. Really sad I didn't get a proc, but that's fine. And this is my burst. I'm just gonna Blade Storm. I use Siegebreaker and Blade Storm really offensively whenever I do use them. We'll go on this guy. I'm actually gonna go on the Boomy. I'll hit Boomy pretty hard, even though he just dashed real fast out. We'll execute there, because we got an execute proc. We'll go back on the Boomy. He has that incarnation thing, so he's gonna have a lot of haste. At least he knows what he's doing. He's going the right way to try and get away. Okay, let's do this. He's probably dead, yeah. So, I'll try to explain the rotation as I go, but it's definitely one of those specs where you can probably just press buttons and it'll eventually work out. I'll explain it right now. Bloodthirst, just use it on cooldown. Whirlwind, if there's two people around you, you want to use it to get the Whirlwind buff to get your single target attacks to hit nearby enemies around you, if they're kind of AoE heavy. Outside of that, obviously just Bloodthirst and Raging Blow, and then Rampage whenever you can. I'll focus the healer here to kind of try and get a good Blade Storm off. And right here I'm gonna Whirlwind. That's when you would want it, Whirlwind as well. We'll use Rampage, we'll use Whirlwind again, use that. Use an Execute because we got that proc, charge back in, use Whirlwind again, use Rampage, use Siegebreaker, and then a Blade Storm. Maybe a Blade Storm. Maybe a Blade Storm. We'll just Execute. Getting a lot of Executes. So I'm gonna Whirlwind just to get that AoE damage. We'll charge the flag here. Let's do this. How about this? Whirlwind for the AoE damage. Just Raging Blow. You just, like, honestly, as a Fury Warrior, if you just hit whatever's closest to you, it'll work out. And just Whirlwinding, I'd say is, I don't want to say it's a big priority, but you do need to know that Whirlwinding does just spread all of your damage to multiple people. You're not casting that. Okay. That was very bad, but I mean I did it. Berserking, okay. I'm horrible at explaining rotations. Pretty much if you Raging Blow and Bloodthirst, you're going to be doing good damage. I do have an add-on that tracks my most recent abilities as well, so that's kind of something to look for as I'm doing these. We can't all just leave a base. Unless we all go towards mines, which it looks like Toxic Rob is, and that's the healer. So, whatever he does is the will of Alliance. So again, just Bloodthirst on cooldown. It's all you really have to do to be a Fury Warrior. Just Bloodthirst, use Execute whenever you get those procs. Like here, I'm just getting a ton of Execute procs, because we get Execute procs from just doing damage. And go on this guy, get an Execute there, use Rampage because we have it. If I ever get kind of low, which I probably won't, I'll use Recklessness here too. So this is cooldowns on this guy. Use Siegebreaker for their increased damage, use that, use Blade Storm, just because I have a haste buff, and Blade Storm will hit fairly fast, he falls over. We'll go on the Feral here, use Whirlwind to get the AoE, and then use Rampage and Execute, and his health's pretty much gone. I'm just gonna Execute him one more time. Gonna Rampage after that Blade Dance is over, otherwise he would have dodged it. Execute whenever you get the proc, and then just Enrage whenever it's up. And that's just kind of melting people right now. A lot of your damage is from auto attacks as well. But, I mean, Fury's good. I like Fury. I feel like it's gonna have its place in PvP right now. At least in I don't know. At least in PDs. In Arena, arms will be better though. Let's see what happens here. I bet there's just rogues. We keep on losing bases over and over again. Okay. Respectable. Okay. I'm gonna use cooldowns if I could hit someone. That'd be cool. There we go. We'll use Siege Breaker here, because I have Enrage. Get a Blade Storm because I have a lot of people near me, and he has Siege Breaker up. I'm going to Rampage again for that extra damage, and he's about dead here. I could have executed him, but he did have Bane Suppression up, so gonna whirlwind for the AoE damage. And we'll go switch to this guy, because he has the most health. Probably should have stayed on the healer. It's not a huge deal. We'll go on the Demon Hunter, because Demon Hunters are really squishy right now. And again, when you have nothing to press, you just kind of want a whirlwind. It's the one button that I'm kind of afraid of, because it's the button I press when I either need to get just a button to fill a random space, or need that AoE. Like, causes your next 2 single target attacks to strike up to 4 additional targets, 50% damage. That's really good. I think it's very underlooked what that does right now. And when people find out that it just does a lot, like, you can do a ton of damage. Can I get that? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, can I get that berserking though? Come, Toxic Crowd. Let's go. Okay. Apparently, what's happening? Where are they going? I'm gonna go on this guy. Oh, you don't even have to hit multiple people to get the procs. That's neat. New Siege Breaker here. I'll show you guys just the single target damage here, because it's kind of nuts. We'll Blade Storm here. He's not going to take a whole bunch of damage, but this is Fury Warrior. Rampage for the Enrage. Pretty much use our... Is it really worth it? I don't think it is. Have fun there, buddy. We'll go on someone else. Like, there's not many people to go on. So the one thing you want to pay attention to is pretty much your Enrage. You'll see I proc Enrage a fair amount, but it will proc off of your Rampage as well. And your Rampage does a ton of damage. That's like worst case scenario. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna use self heals here too. I could use defensives. Can use Siege Breaker. Use Rampage. Get good damage on him. He's about dead here. Gotta love the self heals of this spec so much. And charge this guy. Get a good heal. Use Rampage because we're Fury capped, or Rage capped, sorry. Use this to extend. Probably gonna Victory Rush, Bloodthirst for health, Rampage and Execute. And he's just dead. Execute one more time. We'll go on the Boomino. He'll probably run away, or he'll Cyclone me. This Boomy's pretty good. Yeah, brute. I don't have anything here. I'm gonna Blade Storm once he tries to root me or something. He'll do something here to try and get away from me if he's smart. Okay, so now's the part where we actually use Blade Storm. Blade Storm will just do AoE damage. Or not Blade Storm, Whirlwind, sorry. Whirlwind's pretty much just extra AoE damage, if you think about it. And it's just on call. We'll go on this guy, use Whirlwind again. Use Rampage. Use Whirlwind one more time. I believe that's a Blood Death Knight, so I don't really want to hit him. I'm gonna go on the Hunter here. He's about done. I can get an Execute off, and whatever. Do we stick on that guy? Let's just go on the healer. So we're gonna Bloodthirst, Rampage, just for the Enrage. Use Bloodthirst on cooldown, use Raging Blow. Use Bloodthirst again because it's off cooldown. Raging Blow, Rampage. I could use Siege Breaker here. I imagine he's dying soon, so I'm gonna wrap that Shadow. We'll use Rampage and then Bladestorm, and he's gonna die here. Maybe not. I was lied to. I should have extended that Enrage with Raging Blow a little bit earlier, so that's my mistake, but we use cooldowns here. Recklessness is up like all the time now, so I'm loving that. Disc Priest can just live forever now, by the way, in case you don't know. So, most important thing is just keeping Enrage up and using Execute whenever you get that, because that's just extra damage. It's just a ton of extra damage. And we're going to Victory Rush, Bloodthirst for health. Gonna Victory Rush again, interrupt that Solar Wrath. Pretty much just self-healing. You can play kind of a, not like a healer playstyle, but I just heal yourself kind of playstyle, and I love it. Like, I healed a ton there. We'll go back in, go on the blood. I actually hit blood DKs kind of hard. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, that's a 3-cap. So we're gonna extend Enrage with Raging Blow. He's just dead. Let's not talk about that. So Arms Warrior is pretty much just, you know, using Bloodthirst and Raging Blow, using whirlwind to get that AoE, and then knowing how to use your cooldowns offensively or defensively, and knowing in AoE situations just kind of whirlwind for extra damage, because it's literally just extra damage. Let's go on this Hunter. If I can ever hit him. Like, once I get on someone, they just kind of fall over. Please. I really need the charged Execute. They're all trying to kill our healer. Should probably just stick on the flag. They're all gonna go Lighthouse with Water Walking now. I'm just gonna kill this guy from behind. I love this guy. He's sitting in the boat. Alright, well that's a 3-cap, guys. In review. We'll pop cooldowns here. Hopefully. We'll just hit the fucking Warlock. Rampage. As the BG ends. So if you don't know, Rampage pretty much gives you Enrage. Enrage gives you a haste increase, and the haste increase is what makes your whole kind of playstyle come together with Fury. Bloodthirst and Raging Blow will extend / give you Enrage, which in effect gives you haste. That haste you can use with auto attacks, whirlwinds, Siege Breaker, Bladestorms. If you Bladestorm with increased haste, the Bladestorm duration is going to go shorter, and the damage will be higher. The DPS will go up with the haste increase. Siege Breaker is just 15% increase the damage, and then you also have defensives with Commanding Shout and Enraged healing, or Enraged regen healing, and that on top of Bloodthirst healing is a lot of healing as well. But that's it's Fury.